Hi everybody. Now, unfortunately, the Battlefield 1 beta is over. I know we've all had a fantastic time playing it, but you're probably thinking, "Oh, I can't wait for the Battlefield 1 to come out." Neither can I. But we can keep practicing to get better, so that when Battlefield 1 comes out, we can be sharp and ready to use the weapons that are available. Also, if you didn't get to play the Battlefield 1 beta and want to know kind of how it feels, and you want to practice to get better for when it releases, you can do that within Battlefield 4 if you set up some classes. And I've done a little bit of work looking at some different classes to come up with some loadouts that if you use in Battlefield 4 will definitely get you used to the idea of how the weapons work and the different style of play that you have. So let's start off with the class in Battlefield 4 that is known as Assault, but when you come to play Battlefield 1, he's called a Medic. So let's go in and have a look at the assault setup that you could try. So first things first, you want to switch over from an assault rifle to a DMR, dedicated marksman's rifle. There are no assault rifles in Battlefield 1, more the shame. And the medic basically has a single shot rifle that you can put on auto as well, but for accuracy you'll probably be doing it a single shot. So the first one, the RFB, is great, and basically you need to have iron sights on this. No red dots in World War One, so have that. No accessories, no special barrels, nothing at all, just a plain weapon. Your secondary weapon, your pistol, you'll want to just use a plain P226 pistol, but then you don't want no laser sights, nothing like that, just this plain one. Now, as your gadget, the first aid pack is when you start off with in Battlefield, and that's exactly the same, so run with that. And then your second gadget, you can do two things. You could go with the defibrillator, which I tend to run with in Battlefield 4, but the way that the revive system works in Battlefield 1, I never found myself really bringing that many people back to life, and you use a syringe instead. But what is super helpful is when you level up a little bit, you then get under-barrel explosive grenades, but like a noob tube thing. Now, you don't really have one of those in Battlefield 4, but what you could equip is the M320, because in Battlefield 1, tanks are very, very powerful. And the whole squad, the whole team really needs to come together to take on tanks. And by using the M320 in Battlefield 4, that will kind of get you used to the idea of taking on tanks as the medic class by using your underbarrel grenade. So go with that. Ordinary grenade, knife, bayonet, don't worry about your field upgrades, doesn't matter. Right, let's go over to Engineer. So Engineer in Battlefield 4 becomes the assault character, or the assault class in Battlefield 1. And what you want to go for something like the PP2000. It's a what do they call these ones? They call them PDWs. It's called a submachine gun in Battlefield 1, but this will kind of feels very, very similar. And again, you want plain iron sights, no accessories, nothing underneath it, because in Battlefield 1 these guns jump around like buggery when you start firing them. Secondary weapon, again, just a plain pistol, no accessories at all to it. Now, Gadget 1. In Battlefield 1, the role of the assault character, the assault class, who is Engineer in Battlefield 4, is really to take on tanks, and you have like this. As you level up, your main anti-tank weapon is like an anti-tank recoilless rifle type thing, really powerful rifle. And the closest thing I could really come against it is the small, because it has a very low bullet drop in Battlefield 1, and the small doesn't either. Basically, you aim it at something, you fire it, and as long as you're on target, it will probably hit. Nothing guided, you can't have anything guided. And then as your second weapon, as your second gadget, what you have in Battlefield 1 is you have these high explosive anti-tank grenades, anti-vehicle grenades that are really powerful, and you lob them across. And in Battlefield 4 there isn't really anything the Engineer has like that. So I would suggest go with the M2 slams mines, because you can kind of toss them and they do go off when vehicles go through. So that's the closest we can go for. And then you've got your normal frag grenade, bayonet. Don't worry about field upgrades, it doesn't matter, because we don't really know about those yet in Battlefield 1, and you're going to have to you've got to stay alive a lot to use those, haven't we? Right, let's go on to support, which is still support in it's the only class that's really stayed the same. Well, I suppose the sniper as well. So what I want you to choose with this one is you could go for any of the first ones, like the U100, Type 88, the LSAT. You want something that doesn't have a massive magazine size, because the gun you start off with is it's a British LMG with that kind of dinner plate magazine on the top. But again, when you go into it, iron sights, no accessories, under barrel bipod's fine. You can go with that. Secondary weapon, the P226 pistol. Now, as your gadgets, Battlefield 1, the support character has trip mines, which are basically shells that operate exactly the same way as the Claymore. So grab one of those as one of your gadget, and the other one is the ammo pack. That's what you start off with, and that's the lightweight one that you can throw around. And the way it kind of changes is depending on if you're playing something like Conquest or Rush. So if you were playing, if I was playing Conquest or I was playing Rush offense, and I was playing support, I would swap out the Claymore for the ammo box when it became available. The advantage of the difference between the ammo box and the ammo pack is the ammo pack gives you an instant resupply of a certain number of bullets and a certain number of grenades. So you can toss it down and pick it up, and you immediately get those weapons. And anybody you throw the ammo pack at or they pick up gets it immediately. Where with the ammo box, it slowly resupplies everybody in the surrounding area. So I tend to find the ammo pack is more useful because in Battlefield 1, funnily enough, you can use the support as a very, very effective anti-tank class, because one of the grenades you get is an anti-tank grenade. And because he has ammo packs, in effect, the support guy has infinite anti-tank grenades. So you can throw a grenade, throw a tank, throw down a ammo pack, get another grenade, throw another grenade, and just keep cycling through like that. And you can take out tanks almost as effectively as the assault class in Battlefield 1. So anyway, go with the Claymore, because that's like the trip mines. Ammo pack is exactly the same. M67 frag, and don't worry about the other stuff. Recon. Just go with the basic sniper rifle, CSLR4. I've popped a 6x optic on it. Normal barrel. Bipod, feel free to put that on, so when you lie down it's a little bit more stable, because the snipers do seem a little bit more stable in Battlefield 1. Secondary weapon, again, the P226 pistol. Now, as far as gadget goes, what you really get in Battlefield 1 is you get a flare gun. Now, what happens with the flare gun is when you fire it up in the air, in its spotting capability, it displays all the enemies on the minimap for you and your team. And the gadgets that's most similar to that in Battlefield 1 is the motion sensor, where it's exactly the same way. You know, throw it down, shows all the enemies within a small radius, and then you can take them out. So use that. And then as your second gadget, in the actual game of Battlefield 1, I run the the armor-piercing bullets, okay, which do damage to tanks, only a bit small. But the recon class in Battlefield 4 doesn't really have anything like that. But what he does have the PLD, the Portable Laser Designator, which is very similar to the spotting scope that you get in Battlefield 1. And the idea in Battlefield 1 is you look through that, it's really magnified, and you can spot enemies from a distance by tapping your shoulder button, so that your teammates can see them and then engage them. So go with the PLD. In Battlefield 1, spotting works slightly differently in the fact that as soon as people go out of line of sight, enemies that is, you then don't see them anymore. They lose the Dorito, they lose the little marker above their heads. So you've got to spot a lot more often. But what that does lead to is maps that are much less cluttered in terms of little icons floating around. So there we go. There's our kind of 4 little classes. If you equip those and practice those in Battlefield 4, now you're going to struggle. It's going to be difficult because you're going to be going up against people with guided missiles, red dot sights, all this sort of stuff. But especially with the assault character, who is the medic in BF1, one of my favourite ones. The assault, is medic, and the support that's still support. You'll really, really appreciate that. And then we're in the test range here. So if we come out of that and then just spawn in, you've got the test range where you can, practice to your heart's content with single shot rifles, because you really need to develop your trigger finger. So you can really fire really fast single shot, swap over to your pistol. And one of the things I really struggled with Battlefield 1 is iron sights. I'm a bit of a red dot junkie, I really need red dots. But this practicing like this will get you up to speed, and that will help. In fact, what I'm going to do now is let me redeploy as the the engineer, which would be assault in Battlefield 1, because when you first start playing the assault character in Battlefield 1, you'll be like, this machine gun's unusable, because basically it fires even when you're aimed down sight, the trench gun you have, like you're firing from the hip in Battlefield. Basically, it's going, in fact, that's probably more accurate. But by using the PDW in Battlefield 4, that will start to get used to the fact that you're going to have low range and low accuracy, and basically not engaging people at longer range if you're playing the assault character. And then you've got your so you can kind of, in Battlefield 1 you can throw the anti-tank grenades much better than that, but it's about the similar thing. And again, then you've got your, this is very similar to, now the thing I would say about using the SMOR is if you always make sure that you're lying prone when you use it, that will simulate what it's like when you're playing with the anti-tank rifle, because in Battlefield 1 you can only deploy the anti-tank rifle in the prone position. Right, so there we go. Let's just quickly nip back into those. They're my classes that if you practice with on Battlefield 4, you'll get yourself ready for Battlefield 1 and you'll be dominating the battlefield. So let's have a look at a little bit of those in action, just to see if I can actually walk the walk as well as talk the talk.